Hi designers, welcome to another detailed tutorial on this channel, Victoria Mensah. Today we'll be making this gorgeous Bubu dress with built-up collar and gathering. It has pockets at the sides and belt at the back to snatch your waist. Make sure to stick to the end and subscribe for more contents like this. This video is being sponsored by Stitch Mart. Call us for any type of sewing machines and sewing accessories. To begin with, measurements needed are bust, waist, hip, shoulder, shoulder to waist, shoulder to hip, sleeves length, and dress length. The tools and materials are used: African print fabric, plain fabric, corset stiff, scissors and meter rule, tape measure, pins, and chalk. The first step is I folded the fabric using my hip measurement, that is 39 divided by 4, that will be 9 3/4 plus 5 inches, giving me 14 3/4. That's what I used to fold the fabric. We need to get a base, so starting from the selvage, I ruled a straight line of about 1 inch. From that straight line, I went down using my shoulder to hip measurement, that is 24 plus 2 inches, because I don't want the joining to be at the hip. I want it to be below the hip by 2 inches. And I added stitching allowance of about half an inch. Remember, there is a gathering joint at the around the hip area. So after cutting this, I went ahead to cut another one. But the one that I cut, I didn't add zipper allowance. Take note, there's no zipper allowance, or there's no zipper fixed in this dress. It's a loose dress, so I cut another piece. Now I have two pieces, one for the front and the other one for the back. This side's fold. So the next thing is, from the line I ruled, that will be my shoulder. From that point downwards, I marked my shoulder to waist measurement 16, and downwards my shoulder to hip, that's 24 plus 2 inches, because I don't want the joining to be on my hip exactly. I want it to be below my hip, plus half an inch stitching allowance. Then I went ahead to rule the lines and I labeled them. At this point, I went ahead to mark my neck width, that is 3 inches, and the neck depth that I use is half an inch. I just had to curve the neckline. So from this point, I marked my shoulder to shoulder divided by 2, that's 7.5, plus my sleeve length, that is 7 inches. Yes. Then the next step is to mark your shoulder slope of 1 inch, and I connected it to my neck. The next step is to mark the sleeves opening starting from the shoulder slope. So I marked 8 inches and I ruled that line straight across, because that will be where I'll be measuring my bust measurement. So my bust is 34 divided by 4, so 8.5. Then I'll add 1 inch ease allowance and 1 inch sewing allowance. So that is what I'm marking now. We move on to the waist. Waist 27 divided by 4 is 6 3/4, and I'll mark the ease of 1 inch and the sewing allowance of 1 inch. And the hip is 9 3/4 plus ease of 2 inches and 1 inch sewing allowance. I want the ease at the hip to be a bit bigger. Next point is to connect all the points here. So at this point, I'm connecting them. Then I went ahead to curve where I marked the bust measurement, and I curved the hip area too. Now I went ahead to add half an inch stitching allowance to the shoulder. I grabbed my scissors and I cut it out. Now I have two pieces, so I'll take off one piece and that one will be the back. and the remaining one I'll use it for the front. So now I have to mark and cut the part that I'll be fixing the built-up collar. So I marked 2¼ of an inch. That's 2.25 of an inch, and I ruled a straight line all the way to the neckline. Try and curve it to fit the neckline. After cutting this part, I will have two pieces for the front. So the next step is to take the back piece and align it with the front piece this way, with the right sides facing each other. Then I'll join the shoulders with 1/2 an inch. After joining the shoulders, this is what I have. Now I took the measurement of the neckline, starting from the hem of the front all through to the back, then to the other neckline, hemline, sorry. And I had 16 inches, and I measured the sleeves opening to I had 16.5. So I had gone ahead to cut the plain fabric. I used 6 by the length, which is 60 plus 1.5 or 2 inches as is here. And with the sleeves too, I used the same 6 by about 18 because I added something. So I used 19 here, and I went to fuse it. Right after fusing it, the next step is to fold the fabric into two this way and place it at the hem of the sleeves and stitch it. But I realized the sleeves, the one for the sleeves was too big, so I had to cut some from it before attaching it. After stitching the plain fabric on the sleeves opening, it's now time to work on the collar for the neckline. So I've placed the piece on fold, and from the folded part, all I did was to mark 13 inches. If you want yours to be smaller, you can use 12.5. If you want it to be longer, you can use 14. After marking, I'll divide the 6 inches into two because I need the midpoint and mark it. And I went ahead to rule a straight line at the middle point. I will take it over to the sewing machine to stitch the line that I've just ruled here. Right after stitching, you put it together this way and give it a good press. Look for the midpoint and notch it. The next thing I did is to pin the collar to the dress, starting from the center back. So I had to pin one side first and make sure they all lay flat. So I pinned one side all the way down, and I went ahead to pin the other side, and I went to my sewing machine to stitch 1/2 an inch. You have to also stitch one side first, starting from the center back, after I stitched the other half. Right after stitching, I gave it a good press, and this is what I have. It's taking shape already. I turned it to the wrong side and marked 1 inch below the waistline. That's where the pocket will start. I snipped that part and also snipped the other side as well. I proceeded to cut the pocket. So the measurements of the pockets I used are 7.5 by 8.5 inches, and I need 4 pieces of what I've just cut. So after cutting the first 2, I just placed it on and I cut the second 2. At this point, we have to pin it on our garment and stitch. So What you have to do is place it with the right sides facing each other. The pocket would face, right side will face the right side of the garment. So this is one side of the back, and I went ahead to place the other one. That's the second one at the other back, at the other side of the back. And I'm placing the third one at the front, one of the sides of the front, and the other one too. The last but not the least at the other side. So I'll just stitch half an inch on all four sides. At this point I was done stitching, and the next thing is to align the sides and mark my side seam. That's the stitching allowance. The stitching allowance I used was 1 inch, so I had to mark it. But at the pocket, you have to mark half an inch. It's just the side seams that I marked 1 inch, but the pocket bag, I marked half an inch. The next thing is to prepare the belts. So I went ahead to cut and sew the belts that I would insert at the waistline. Yeah, so at this point I was sewing the belt. After sewing, I turned it inside out and I gave it a good press. So the belt, I inserted it at the waistline. Watch carefully. After inserting it, I had to pin it. So the belts are 2, 1 for each sides. Right after inserting it, I head over to the sewing machine and I stitched the sewing allowance that I marked earlier. I gave it a good press, and this is the outcome. The next step is to cut the fabric for the gathering. So from my shoulder to hip measurement is 24 plus the 2 inches, making it 26. I would have to subtract the 26 from the dress length of 38, and the remaining length is 12. So I added 1.5, half for stitching and 1 inch for the hem. I ended up cutting all the remaining fabric for the gathering because I really want the gathering to be full. So at this point, I have to put them together, right sides facing each other, and stitch half of an inch to get a very long piece for the gathering. The next step is to turn a lay and a hem at one side and stitch, and the other side I went ahead to do the gathering. So at this point I was done running the gathering stitches, and I was done pulling it as well. I was trying to make it even. The next step is to pin the right side of the gathered fabric onto the unfinished garments. So while spinning too, I had to make sure the gathering is being distributed evenly. I have to put the ends of the gathered fabric together and pin, because I would stitch that part as well. I have to join that part as well. At this point I was still distributing the gathering stitches evenly. So I just stitched the half of an inch, then proceeded to attach the gathering to the fabric using half of an inch stitching allowance. After stitching, I knitted all the raw edges, the wrong side. The dress is ready. If this video was helpful, share the sewing love by commenting, liking, and sharing this video. See you in my next video. Enjoy creating. Bye.